surrounded by a healthy community where I come in. The gal that is the school wellness coordinator with this grant, they call us the Dream Team, because she's in the school working on different initiatives while I'm out in the community doing different initiatives. She was unable to be here this morning. She sends her regrets. But so we know that the school's at the center to surround that with healthy communities, right? So when these kids leave school, do they have access to safe transportation? If they're walking home, are they walking past, and specifically these four elementaries that I've mentioned, are they walking past a convenience store, and are they walking in that convenience store and purchasing a pop? I'm from Iowa, so I say pop, or candy bar, or both. And can we possibly work with the State Association for Convenience Stores and get some smart snack aisles, smart snack displays, so that when these kids are out and about in the community, that we make the healthy choice the easy choice, right? We know we have to take it to another level, and that is that statewide focus. So we have a really unique opportunity here in Jefferson City. It's that big building over on the hill, and they pass laws and they make rules that we all have to follow in the state of Missouri. And so being here, there's kind of this unspoken expectation that we will create some sort of legislation. And so we've actually looked at, and I'm working with lobbyists from MFH and local lobbyists from, pediatric associations, et cetera, to look at some legislation regarding childhood obesity. So it's an exciting thing to come in the next 5 years here in Jefferson City. Go to the next slide. This is just showing you real quickly the coverage area through MFH. So we're in cohort 3, that purple area. So it's Cole County, it is Miller County with Eldon, and then Versailles and Morgan County also has this. So we are really set apart. We have a population of, 43,000 in just Jefferson City alone, whereas Eldon and Versailles are like 5,000 and 3,500 respectively. The next slide would be great. Let's keep going. This is already mentioned. This is just a schematic that shows that we're constantly collecting data. We're constantly evaluating, right? So there's an arm of the grant that I actually have to submit all sorts of data just about daily. And then there's another arm of this grant that is supported in the public relations, advertising, marketing, and that is GMMB. So we'll just kind of move. This talks a little bit more about schools as the hub, and this would be Nicole Stacy is the gal that this is her kind of arena, and so she's actually going in and working with the PTOs, the PE teachers, the principals. She's forming wellness committees at each school. And they are developing action plans for each school and what that looks like and what they desire to have on site. So if that looks like, specifically at Callaway Hills, doing some farm to school gardens, specifically maybe building a walking trail around their school. If she wants to do podcasts with kids so they're listening to their curriculum and walking and being active at the same time, getting up and doing brain breaks within the school day. We know there's a ton of research that tells us that active kids are more successful. Okay, so that gives you an idea of the schools. Healthy communities is my end of it, and a couple of things that I'm working on specifically is think outside the box, everybody. This is where the county comes into play, possibly. We're going to do some bike lanes, hopefully here in Jefferson City. We're going to add in fresh fruits and vegetables in the buddy packs to go home with these kids on a weekly basis. So working with Central Missouri Food Bank and folks here in town for those 4 specific schools at this time. Will that grow organically? I sure hope so. I sure hope we can get fresh fruits and vegetables and buddy packs for all 13 elementaries. What else? I mentioned the legislation. I'm specifically working with the city of Jefferson regarding some lighted crosswalks at both Thorpe Gordon at the top of that hill and south at the bottom of the hill, so we can get these kids safe if they want to be active within their neighborhoods and looking at the sidewalks that these kids are walking on. We know that the income is very low in these neighborhoods as well. The Color Vibe's coming back to town. And then I'm glad and very happy to announce that the Root Cellar, which is a provider for local produce, meats, eggs, dairy, and it's all organic, will be accepting EBT cards, which is the SNAP recipients or food stamp recipients. They will start to accept EBT cards starting in March. So low-income families will be able to access non-chemical, healthy, local produce in these communities. So just a few of the things I'm working on. I mentioned the statewide focus. So one of the things that we're constantly looking at is to how to partner with other entities for funding efforts. So I'm working with CDBG at the City of Jefferson for hopefully some matching funds there. Writing some more grants along this timeline over the next 5 years as well. So anyway, we're partnering with anybody and everybody we can. This schematic is very overwhelming. The only thing you need to take away from this is that we have a big 5-year goal to reduce childhood obesity 5% in the next 5 years. We have many resources, and we're going to be building capacity within our community through many different activities, probably neighborhood-specific walking and biking programs, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be a lot going on. These are going to give us outcomes, and hopefully positive outcomes. One outcome I can share with you through Eldon is that this is their 3rd fiscal year they're going into, but they have seen a 1% reduction and they've seen an increase in their test scores. Okay, so that's a really big deal. I presented to the school board last night, and that's the only thing they really cared about. Right? Right? The last thing I want to share with you, and you have this, if those of you that do have the information that you're looking at, is that part of the process that I have to work on is that I have to collect baseline data within our community. And so I picked and contacted a number of you to come and participate with an assessment. It was called the Community Healthy Living Assessment Index. And what that did is it gave us information that what is lacking in our community when regarding physical activity opportunities and nutrition accessibility. Okay, so we looked not only at the community at large, but we also looked at the after-school programs that these 4 schools are utilizing. So Y Care and the Boys and Girls Club. And so we look at where the barriers are, where the challenges are, and where the opportunities are. And so now we've collected that data. We've completed that. And so the next step of this process is to create an action plan. And at this point, it's going to be on the 19th from 9 to 11. And I think 2 of you have declined. So maybe I'll get 1 of you there. With that action plan, what that will do is it will set the course for this, this executive council. The people that participated in the assessment will form an executive council, and then that will set the course for at least the next 12 months on the community side of this grant. So it's your input that's invaluable as to what you want to see here in Jefferson City and where you want this money that's coming into our community, where you want it spent. Okay? So I encourage any of you that are interested in participating to contact me. I would be more than happy to come back at regular intervals and share with you, what kind of projects we're working on, and answer any questions that you might have, or if there's something specific that you saw or you heard of and you want to, get more involved. That would be great. So that's all I have for you today. Is there any questions?
The 4 schools you're using, is there a reason, are you going to go out to Russellville and Blair Oaks and Eugene, or are you going to expand
Within the
the
county?
schools? Yeah.
That's not a decision I would make personally. That would be through MFH if they decided to expand it. I don't see Blair Oaks being in the income bracket to be deserving of it. Possibly Russellville, possibly Eugene.
Right now the partnership with Jeff City.
Correct. Just Jefferson City Public Schools at this time. And it's just those 4 elementaries within that because of the income. Okay. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you,
All right,
Ashley.
thanks, Ashley. We have a meeting on the 19th, that's why we declined.
I know.
So.
I'll miss you.
Okay. I think she's just trying to get us there. She's trying to tell us something. You gonna try to get a countywide biggest loser going?
Yeah.
I think Larry thinks he's overqualified for being the biggest.
Oh, I forgot this really important point. And it's about employee wellness and how you need to invest in your employees.
Okay,
Okay, we're going to keep moving ahead.
we got a shot.
Who was that directed?
Oh no, there's a bullet hole behind the wall.
We got a full agenda. Tyler Woods, oil lubrication bidding discussion. 5 minutes?
Okay, do I need to stand or can I sit?
Yeah, just come on up here.
Okay.
Tyler had been in contact with me. We talked about the bidding for the oil and lubricant. And so I said, you're welcome to come and address the commission about it. We had a little bit of conversation about how we did the bidding. So
It doesn't amplify.
It just
Are you
records it
recording
for
or
the-
not? Okay.
Okay.
so,
I'm Tyler Woods. I'm the general manager for Dennis Oil Company here in Jefferson City. We do a lot. We do business in 14 counties, and what we ran into about a year or so ago is the bidding system that Cole County is using is not up to what 13 of the other counties we do business in do, or municipalities. Right now, whenever we approach the county Public Works Department for their oil lubricant information, you guys are on a phone system, I guess, or the person at the shop will pick up the phone and make phone calls on a specific product, and then they will then call around. And that isn't in my opinion, or like I said, 13 other counties we do business in, that's not a fair system. It's easy enough to pass off information to another company that you may have an employee with. What we're wanting to do, or what we're asking that the Cole County does, is go to a paper bid that is good for 6 months to 1 year by specifications that are API approved, American Petroleum Institute approved, not name brand specifications. There's two differences in that, and I can answer any questions that someone may have. If the commissioners have any questions about requirements or specifications on equipment that have been brought to their concern from the employees, or why this system seems to be working better than a paper bid system. I have more questions probably, or it's probably a two-way street. If you have questions for us on how it can work better, we just have questions of why it's done this way. So
I think part of it was that pricing was never guaranteed past 30, 60 days because of the volatility of the product. So that was part of it. We don't actually purchase that much of it. I think we get 55 gallons every 3 months or so.
Here.
Is that
I have a breakdown actually of what we purchased.
okay?
Copy that. Okay, this is what we did in 2015. And of non-specific oil, we do have several oils that we do bid or purchase that we buy straight from, like Motorcraft, we buy from Ford, Chevrolet, we buy Dextrose. We use their oils in our new equipment because they are they're recommended by them. But this is the actual breakdown of generic type oils that we would use in a year period. So what we did in 2015 anyway.
Yeah, because you had contacted me about it before, so I'm going to buy a purchasing agent and then Public Works, and then I even asked them to let me know next time we were going to get some. Then I would sit in when we did the phone calls and phone bids and make sure everything was being done fairly and above the board.
Since we've got into this, and we've actually talked about now, since we've actually talked to the city about doing not actually a phone bid, but actually going out on the email bid on them. At least maybe every 2 or 3 months that we would actually do that, not actually, we change it over to doing that instead of actually doing a phone bid. A phone bid's a lot easier, it's a lot quicker, it doesn't take as much time. And I don't think we would ever put out a bid again for a specific amount of oil, like we would say we bid 10 W40 motor oil, that we would say we would take 10 barrels a year of that, because we may and we may not. So what we're looking into actually doing, instead of doing phone bidding, is actually doing them per email. That way we have a paper trail of that back to us.
if I could recommend a way to do this, it's how every other county that we deal with does it. They have a piece of paper very similar to this. This is a good breakdown. Let's use Camden County, for instance, which is probably our biggest county that we do business in. They break it down. They don't put an amount. They put the specification, and then they send it out to companies who want to bid it, and it's on paper. You bid it, you send it back in, kind of like an email bid. You bid it, you send it back in, and it's opened. And once it's opened, it's done. You go down the line, and who meets the specifications with the pricing. You can either do two ways. Low bidder usually always gets it in a municipality. But say something isn't a spec, if they don't provide specifications, that you're asking for a 10 TBN on a 1540. You're wanting a 1540 with a 10 TBN, which is as high as you can get, the best you can get. If they're not bidding what quality you want, then it's taken out of the bid. This bid here is very good for me to see, because I see that the company who has gotten this is one that we bid against in several other bids that we do, and we've won. We do business with 9 municipalities around our area, and Lubrig's always a bidder. and a contestant, and there's some prices on here that I know that we would have been under for a bid, a paper bid. The best way to do it, in my recommendation, so it is, you know, there's no, you can't go back and forth, is an email bid or a paper bid. The city went to an email bid. The city had been doing business with 1 or 2 suppliers for years, and until we approached them, and they went to a bid, and they ended up saving thousands of dollars on their lubricants. Now this here with the quantities isn't a ton, but it gives a fair shot for everybody to do business in the municipality. And
I think that was part of it though, is we weren't buying that much when you first contacted me. You were thinking that we probably did over $10,000 of it. We
Well,
were
it's gonna save us 10,000, we don't even
Well,
buy
that's
it.
right. So, and we were around 8,500 and this is at 7,500, what we've gotten this past year. So, and I think you mentioned something about doing email bids. The phone bids, I think they were fair and complied with statute, so, but if we do the email bids,
We can change over to an email bid. It'd probably be better for us just because that way we have a paper chase of it. It's a little more work, but that's all goes along with the game. I
you're gonna have to learn how to email it, Cliff.
guess. Exactly, but, and we've actually talked about doing that ourselves before, just to make sure we have a paper trail of it all the time. We probably, if we do that, we're gonna put on there specifics that you're gonna have delivery time, and it's gonna have to be a certain amount of time, and if you're not, we're not gonna accept your bids anymore, and that kind of stuff. So I do know that somebody's already told us that he had trouble with getting oil from you, that they have ordered oil and it didn't get there when it was expected it to get there. Most of the time we order oil, we get the barrel that day. I mean, they order it, we usually send out an email. If we do emails, we'll probably send them out in the morning, whether it's compliance by noon to have it back into us. If it's not back there by noon, because we're gonna go pick up some oil or have them deliver it, usually that same day.
And the way we work is kind of, we're kind of a regional, we only serve the state of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, but we do about a 2-day out, you know, so it's a good lead time. But we're here in Jeff City, so we can typically get things out the same day, if not the next day. But we always give a 2-day out lead, because we go as far north as, you know, Macon, as far south as Springfield. So it does, we do have to have a lead, but the bids that we do have a delivery time period, you know, it can be done within 1 day, 2 days. There's all kinds of specifications, and if the commission would like to see one of those bids that we do from another county, so they can see kind of what the outline are, because they are they're very specific bids. I mean, we're talking Boone, Camden, Callaway, Phelps. They all have very specific guidelines, and they are all the same. They all do ask for a delivery time period, specification chart, and we understand that, you know, there's things that come up, hydraulic lines below, you need that day, things like that, and we would love to do whatever we can to help out if we have a fair shot at getting business. It's just been very difficult to keep up with the phone bid system, when it's much easier to have it on paper, do it 6 months to a year. Oil markets back then were very volatile. Now we can see they're volatile, but in your favor. I mean, their prices are dropping dramatically, so now would be a good time to lock in a company that would do a 6-month bid with the oil prices the way they are. You know, it's just, it kind of brings Cole County up, like I said, to a lot of other counties, and you guys can research it, or I can show you the bids that we do. We would probably take names and numbers off of the bids, but I can show you bids that we have done in other counties that maybe a couple of them are even smaller purchases than this. I doubt it. This does seem really low, but yeah, I'd be happy to work with them on it, and I would make myself available for any questions or anything I can do to help out and answer questions. I mean, it just would make it feel more of a, from our perspective, and maybe someone else has said and done it, but it would make it feel like more of a guaranteed system, you know what I mean? Like, we know Cole County's going to bid, like right now I know Camden County's going to bid every January, I know Callaway County's going to bid every November, I know Boone County's going to bid every November. We know when they're going to bid, and we can prepare ourselves for it and do it, and we get it. And if we don't do a good job, we get kicked out. We've never been kicked out. But that's always an option. If we don't do a good job, then we don't do a good job. But I mean, kind of holds our feet to the fire having a contract that says you either do it or you don't, and there's consequences. So, yeah.
How would that have worked last year then, if you locked in on the price on January 1, and then the price of oil went down, when you say, well, we just want to buy it from somewhere else cheaper than?
and that's where it goes in our favor. Yeah, right now, like,
So that's why I would say I wouldn't necessarily want to lock ourselves into a 6-month or a 1-year thing. So, I mean, I think the 3-month even might even be pushing it these days.
right now, we'll, $38 a barrel. If we lock into a year, 6 months. 6 months is going to be the new normal. A year is going to be kind of, and you're going to win or lose. That's the risk of a bid. And any oil company knows this. I mean, any oil owner, we all know this. So we all bid it to give ourselves that 3 to 5% fluctuation or more. If they're good business, they do anyway. 3 months would be fine. I would recommend 3 months at the very minimum. 6 to a year would be more ideal. So you're not going back to it ever. You don't feel like you're going back to it constantly. Yeah, it's just one of those things we would like to get more involved with, but have a guaranteed. We want to have a guideline of how to do it, and we want to know when it's going to be done.
I'm fine with trying the email bids if you're comfortable
Yeah.
with it. I mean, Sam, Chris.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I think it's more in Wall Street Journal, it's $31.
Is it? Yeah.
It's volatile.
Yes.
One of the things on the news last night, they said it could be down to $1 a gallon this year, and I'm like,
If it hits $27, that's when it gets dangerous for the United
Yeah,
States.
yeah.
It's $27 a barrel. But any more questions for me, or I can leave a couple cards, and if anybody ever has any questions, they can certainly email or call me.
thanks, Tyler.
Yep, thank you.
We're
I mean,
actually
it's-
looking into doing.
The oil
That too.
companies win on it no matter what.
There you go.
Yeah,
Because if they got the bid, they got right here, they know about how many gallons we're gonna go through, so y'all can buy it at that price if the price
It
goes
all
up.
change, one way or the other, how many of you don't use each one of these products.
And that's very true. Hydraulic, you never know about hydraulic greases. I mean, you could blow 2 lines in the summer and go through 110 gallons in a week. So
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, bid award and signing of contract for 2015-50 foundation and footing setting salt pit building.
That's a mouthful.
I know.
Okay, we took bids on this. The low bid was from K.A. Berenson. I talked to the Public Works guys. They didn't have any apprehension in awarding the bid to them, so that is the recommendation. I have a contract if they'll entertain that.
They've done work for us before, and did good work, so. I move that we award and sign the contract with K.A. Berenson.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Whether or not contract.
We've got the contract, our annual contract with whether or not, this is for the 24-hour, service that we get specifically for the county. The contract fee is $15,960. It is a 3% increase in last year. And this is a contract that we split with the city. I think you're all familiar with the service that we get from. I move that we sign the whether or not contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Signing of credit line agreement with Pitney Bowes postage machine.
Okay, as you know, we're getting a new postage machine, and we understand that we have to have a line of credit, and this is the application for it, to put postage into the machine, or for them to fill the machine, and we will pay the bill after we get the invoice.
It's just a credit app, basically.
It's not a credit increase.
No, did I say anything? Credit
That's what
app.
the email said, and then I think that's what ended up on the agenda, so.
So it's just a credit increase, yeah. So we had a $10,000 credit line, now we got a $15,000 credit line or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, the agenda just said credit line agreement, but the email said increase.
I move that we sign the credit application.
All in favor?
Aye.
New business accounts payable review.
Actually, we're gonna, I don't think we have any bills this week. We just kept that on there, so I'm sorry, I should have taken that out.
Debbie.
Too much on my mind. I have mine left.
Okay.
I can imagine.
signing of the resolution for renewing a countywide sales tax for capital improvement for a 5-year period and authorize the renewal of such tax to be submitted to the voters of the county. Proposition A.
This is what we have to submit to the clerk to get it on the ballot.
Yeah, well, you have to sign a resolution to put it on the ballot. Then at the last page, that's the ballot language. It's the same thing from 5 years ago and 5 years prior to that. Only the dates have changed.
I move that we sign the resolution renewing countywide sales tax.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Remember the old dragnet, all the names have been changed to protect the innocent? Kind of works.
That was before our time, Stan. It wasn't. I guess it was, but it wasn't.
Okay, discussion of assessor software status.
Marty, do you have some specific questions that you wanted to answer? Or just want to know where we're at?
Well, so we were under the impression that we were going to turn off the AS400 here at the end of the year, and evidently we can't do that.
Yeah, I was not notified of that. Basically, we've got our, got our new system installed. We're working things out right now. If there's anything that we want to change, because we are getting a customized system, there are those things that may change in the system. Right now, we're using what's on the AS400 to match up to what we currently have. What we do is we run the values in the new system and compare them to what's on the AS400 to make sure that everything's running correctly. I really don't see that being necessary any more than maybe another 3 weeks.
Well, it's, we've let Dave Sabbath or whoever know that we were going to the Windows-based BSNA system and that we were going to get rid of the AS400 by the end of the year. And the end of the year has come and gone. And now we're in a situation where if something happens to the AS400, we're not going to fix it.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I didn't learn that until a week or two ago.
Okay. I know we've been talking about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for years, so.
Yeah, well, beyond this, there's a couple other things that kind of was the fly in the ointment. First of all, the selling of the company, which we just found out about, was the last week or the week before. I talked to Dave Sabbath, and part of the deal that's supplied out the AS400 is abstract companies come in to the system, to the AS400, and get stuff to start doing their abstract process. They said we're step one. Well, I talked to Dave Sabbath, and he said new bosses might not let him continue to work on that part of it to provide that service. So I don't know what's happened with the new company, whether he's going to be doing that or not. But Melissa has basically taken over trying to get that to be taken care of, and not Dave Sabbath. So we don't know who's doing what because Intrinsicor doesn't exist anymore. The other thing is, in a phone conversation with Dave, he said that what we originally contracted for was a product called Gamma for the real estate from Intrinsicor. His interpretation was that at some point, the Gamma product, the way it existed, did not do everything that we do because on the AS400. So he was looking for it to be enhanced over the course of time to bring it up to specifications that we needed. The company did not provide those resources, so he ended up writing his own program, unnamed, unknown, but it's an interim program that you guys are using that is not Gamma. That's my interpretation. So we really have not contracted with whatever it is they're using. The contract reads that we were paying so much for this Gamma product, we are not using. So my question of the whole deal is, what is it that we have, who's supporting it, and what's the new company doing to provide the support? That's what I needed to know. And we have not turned the 400 off because of the external people using the process that we don't have a solution for right now. I mean, that's the reason we're still have it on, because we didn't feel like we would cut it off.
So we could end up with a new company that's not gonna be able to do everything we need.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to him. I thought you were meeting with him.
I talked to the CEO of the new company. When they bought the company, they took all of the contracts that Entrance Core had, and all of those contracts are going to be filled as written.
And Dave said that Dave told me that what you guys have is an interim thing. He built himself. It was not their product. And that was the reason they weren't working on that product. So he ended up building this other one on his own. It's a totally different platform and all that. It's not, he doesn't know, he told me he doesn't know this programming on their product. He knows his because he built it from using Visual Basic. And that's where you guys are using. Basically mimic the 400.
When was that?
Last week or week.
Okay. My understanding is that we're going to get the product that we contracted for. The language that Dave was writing in is an older language. The new company, they have younger programmers who are writing in a newer language. The system we have will be the same system, except it will be, over time, rewritten into the new computer language. It will still function the same. It will still have the same availability that we contracted for, and it will just be in a different computer language, and that's going to take place over several months, and it will not affect what we're doing.
Okay, see, that, I didn't have that discussion.
Yeah, well, I talked to the CEO last week, and I talked to Dave 2 different times last week, and in fact, I talked to him last night also.
Can we get some kind of clarification? I mean,
From that company.
talking, I mean, we need to know, we could end up
I
in a world of
requested
hurt.
a letter of assignment and something. I talked to an attorney, and there's a letter, part of the contract, that when a company buys another company out, that they fill out and sign, and I've requested a copy of that from the CEO.
Yeah, we don't even know what the new company is, or I need.
Clear Basin Software.
Yeah, I need that for the state tax commission.
Well, Chris had emailed saying that he was going to talk to him last week, but I think we left this on the agenda in the case that we did have something that would go off of it. I mean, I think this information is valuable, but I think from the get-go, this was one of my concerns, was having Dave doing this stuff. And if he decides tomorrow he doesn't like me, which hell, he might not like me already, but he probably likes Sam, so so he's going to stick around. But if he decides to get up and leave, you know, what happens? Then we get these young kids, I guess, come in, they want to write it in the new language, and maybe they don't know their own language, or what kind of problems is that going to cause down the road? So
Speaking to the CEO, those will not be concerns. That will not be a problem.
how's the bridge going? Is that working out any better yet? I know we've been having some problems with DevNet and the whole.
Is the software, your personal property software, is that Intrinsic Cores or is that
It's
Dave's?
No, that's Intrinsical, and that's what they use in 5 or 6 other counties, and have been using for several years.
And the new company's gonna, well, the bridge that we got is different than what those other counties.
Yeah, ours functions a little bit better than what theirs is. My understanding.
I hate to think they're.
Well, from what I understand, Larry, things are running pretty good right now. And I just asked you a few minutes ago if there were any major concerns, and you said, no, nothing major.
No, but there's still issues all the time.
Okay, and have you figured out if there are issues with the company I'm using or the company you're using?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I can't get an answer from either one.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I don't think that was the issue. I don't think we're sitting up here saying that DevNet is the golden goose by any means.
No.
So I was just kind of asking to find out, we need to still
Yeah, well,
keep working
it
towards it.
definitely needs to work
Something
together,
like
and
so.
it needs to work together perfectly, or as close to perfect as you can
Well,
get.
neither one of them wants to take any kind of ownership or responsibility of it. A lot of it, they want to push it on the other one and say it's their fault.
My deal is still, I've got the on and off button, I'm gonna hit at some point. What point is that I'm gonna hit, I don't know. I mean, the last words Dave told me was the fact on the stuff for the abstract companies, and actually Larry was using the magic files too. And he said he didn't know if the new bosses would even let him work on it, because they're a lot stricter on this than previous. So, I still don't know that.
I'm not sure that those things were directly addressed in the contract, though, because that wasn't part of the function of the assessor's office.
That's Paul Evers is your assessor's office, right?
Paul Evers is with the assessor's
Hey,
office.
that's
Right
right.
now, we're using the ESRI system, and we'll continue to use the ESRI.
Let's just say it's 400, they get uploads.
In my conversation, well, we might have, you, me, and Dave might have to sit down, because Dave told me that we're using ESRI as Melissa's using, we'll continue to use that. And if a new product, or when the new product becomes available, then we'll migrate to that.
Why don't you all meet and talk?
Yeah,
We
I
need to
think
get
it would be a
this
good
thing, we
idea.
need to get this
Yeah.
taken care of. This is,
Dragon.
Well, we've got communications going this way and that way, and we don't have the right people sitting down all together to talk about it, is part of the problem. Dave's
But at
talking
any
to
point-
Dale, and Dale's talking to him, but he's not talking to me, and Larry's talking to Dave, and
Chris,
Larry
I'm
and I are
copying you on
communicating.
every email I send today, and I don't get a response from either of you.
Well, yeah, you do, Larry.
No, I don't.
I respond.
But at any point, we
I
shut this
can
AS
print
400
the
down.
mail, emails if you want, Larry.
Well, once we get some way from them.
So that's what we need to focus on right now. If we need to go back and talk about this DevNet stuff and get everybody in the room, and we need to play referee, I'm fine with it.
I think we need to
Give me
have
enough coffee, I'll
Dale
sit
and
and
Dave and I need to sit down.
I would make a recommendation too, that the new owners or whoever the CEO is, come to meets here. Yeah. Because we have a contract, we have a signed contract with specific products, specific companies, specific terms. All that stuff is in written contract, and it's all kind of out the window. I mean, I know they say
They
we
never
absorbed it,
fulfilled the
but-
contract.
Right.
What was in there, so they're in breach.
But that's what I'm just saying, I don't, good, bad, or indifferent, we just need to get together and say,
Let's
we
do
got
that.
on the same
We gotta do
page.
something.
We're not on the same
Yeah,
page,
okay.
with everybody
Let's
understanding
get
what's.
together and see
Yeah.
where we're at with it and get it, if we get everybody
If
on
we
the
can
same
do
page.
that, I mean, that'd be my recommendation.
No.
And the sooner the better,
Am I
really.
correct, Jill, if the other company has signed the, I don't remember what it's called,
Well,
assignments and something else,
well,
where
it's
they
an
take on all the
acquisition.
responsibilities
Yes.
of that company?
Yes, it's an acquisition, so they take on,
That's it, assignments and acquisitions. Yes, I requested a
Previous.
copy of that, so if they've done that, then we're still under contract,
right.
and
Well, they should have, otherwise someone's getting sued.
that's
Yeah.
what I've requested
Because
from
they're
the
in
company, so I
breach.
assume I should have that
Yeah.
soon, I hope, next couple of days.
And then come
Because I
up with
talked
a
to them
time.
Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because my understanding is, I don't know that we paid any money on the gambling
Debbie
thing.
can tell you.
See, we haven't paid anything, it's 3
We
years
paid
into
on
the
the personal.
contract.
We paid it for personal property side.
Yeah, but we're 3 years into a 5-year contract and no money is even exchanged,
Because there's been no product.
except what he's written, which is not that product.
If you say so.
Well, I mean, he says so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my words, it's his.
So the bigger problem is Chris, is if the AS400 breaks, you have nothing,
Yeah, that's what I understand, and I just learned that last week.
and we're not gonna pay to fix it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like I said, I just learned
Well,
that last week.
we've been talking about this for over a year,
You've been
so,
talking to me, though.
Chris, we told everybody that when we were bringing the new BSNA system, that the AS400 was going away. And we were gonna shut it down at the end of 2015.
And an email went out on that, I assume, so we all knew.
I'm sure that it did, Chris.
Okay, I'm just
I
asking.
mean, I've told Dave many times it was gonna be.
And Dave Sabbath was here, I think, at the last meeting. I remember him being here in the commission meeting. And we told him that we were shutting the AS400 down at the end of the year, and he needed to have all his stuff done. And here comes end of the year, and it's still not done. we have maintenance on it, right? We have a maintenance agreement, but we have hardware associated
It's not
with it.
renewed after the middle of the year, it's done. The hardware,
so-
everything's done.
I mean, this is an emergency situation that he needs to fix it and it needs to be fixed immediately.
We have a product that is up and running and operating. Now, as I said, I can't speak to the other things because I don't know that anybody ever mentioned those. But I will talk to Dave about them and see how we're doing it. See, not only did we contract in terms of car, but we had Dave contracted also because Dave's been maintaining the system for the last 30 years. So I don't know what part of that was taken care of by Dave under our contract or taken care of Dave by Trinscor's contract, and that's what I need to find out.
Let's find out, let's put it on the agenda for next week again, and we'll do a follow-up meeting and see where we're at and keep it rolling.
We've really gotta get something done
I
now.
absolutely agree.
Now.
You can make us the bad guys, tell him he's gotta get on it.
Well, and I don't have a problem with that, and they've always done everything I've asked them to. I think we just need some clarification on, you know, who needs what and where we're at as far as these other things that Dale's talking about.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Personal policies handbook changes, Ms. Debbie.
Well, as you know, we're going, Thursday will be our first bi-weekly paycheck. So in the personnel policy handbook, there were some changes that had to be done to how we approve vacation and sick. I did send out the emails to all the employees, I guess you guys did see that, with having the training last week about how our system works and how best to set it up. We've decided that people will accrue vacation and sick based on every bi-weekly check. So Jill did make the changes to the personnel manual in the places that need to be changed, the current manual. So I just need you to approve that they will accrue it based on a bi-weekly prorated amount. By the end of the year, everybody's check will be the same, will be whole. So,
You're having a lot of
Keep
fun,
repeating
you're having a lot of
yourself.
fun, aren't you?
no? 25 years of doing something the same way?
Change is good, Debbie.
Uh-huh.
Embrace it.
Embrace it.
Yes.
I am.
Wait till you see your new desk chair. All those exercise balls that you're
Hey,
selling.
I was sitting on the I wasn't until I reached back and almost fell off. So, no, I don't need that ball.
It's a workers' comp issue.
Yeah, it is a worker's compensation.
Them chairs are damn near broken ankle with them things, because you keep hitting that thing and goes up and down, and the chair flops and then you disappear in the meeting.
That's what mine is. That's what you're sitting on right there. But
She'd
it's
like
all the way
it
down.
blue if we could get it.
Didn't your mother ever tell you to sit still?
I move that we approve the policy, personnel policies as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, you got training with that one too.
I don't know if Jeff will do that.
Put a little head up.
Not gonna make the news.
Ambulance
Hope they
fleet,
altered the personnel.
ambulance fleet maintenance discussion.
We were looking for a decision today if you guys want to extend the current contract or rebid. I sent you an email, there's a 14% increase on the hourly rate from 70 to 80 an hour, and I also sent you the bid tab from 2 years ago when it was bid out. Just trying to get feeling from you guys what direction you want to go.
What was it, for?
I thought your email said it was going to $104 an hour.
No, it was 14%, it was $70 to $80.
The 104 is their front door rate.
What was that, Mike?
The 104 is the current vendor's front door retail rate.
It was
Oh.
108, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's what they normally
I
charge.
recall 104, sorry. So they were going from 70 to 84.
70 to 80, and it's 14%.
That's the renewal.
That's what it would be if we renew, yes.
Is that in the renewal? this year went up 14%, or?
No, that's
That
for
was our-
2016.
That was their proposal. I think they sent it back with a proposal, said they would do it with a 14% increase.
Exactly.
That's correct.
There it is. Yeah, they propose an increase of 14% or further revised schedule submitted with this response. So if we don't accept it, we basically have to rebid it, or does that give them the option to say, okay, we are not going to honor the third year as is, so just rebid it, or is that?
They bid it 1 year with the option for renewal
Right.
based on our acceptance, so it wasn't like it was a 3-year contract. It's
Right.
at our discretion. So if you guys don't approve the increase, then we'll simply rebid it.
Okay, so if we deny the increase, then we're gonna rebid it.
Exactly.
Period. We don't
Yeah, we
give them
had
the
Donnie
option.
Braun and we had On-Site Oil had also bid last time.
But we can't send it back to them and say, no, we reject your proposal. Do you want to honor that and we'll renew it? Or we just say, we're rejecting it and we're rebidding it?
I mean,
We don't
I think
give
the
an
latter,
option.
yeah.
I think we have to reject or rebid.
Right.
And our contract expires January 31st.
February 1st. is
Yeah,
renew,
so February 1st.
So we would need to get that out if we're gonna.
Right, but they could, you guys could do phone bids or
Yeah, it-
whatever in the interim. Right?
Yes, firm, yes. We would handle it just as if they wouldn't be able to do it, we would seek 3 bids.
I mean, I'm fine with rebidding.
Guys, yeah,
I move that we reject the proposal and rebid it.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody said something about Public Works doing some of that. Do y'all not want to talk about that, or do you?
They do do some when they're
We'd be
available.
more happy to if you would give us another.
Give us some more money
More people.
and more
Well-
people. And more shop space.
I'd be willing to do it, but we only spent $20,500 on that last year. Right, Michael?
Yeah.
That would-
2,500.
That wouldn't constitute an
Right.
additional employee. We're probably saving money.
But
Contract
when
that.
I first came up here, we were spending over 100,000.
We had older machines too, though, I think.
Well, that's true.
Newer
True.
fleet kind of helped, so overall it's helped all the way around.
Both ways significantly reduced our current postage.
We're not doing any of the sheriff's cars, or
No, we can't do it at that price.
No. For all ages.
Yeah, at that price.
He's losing money, I think, on every car.
no, we've got to change blinker fluid, and that costs more.
Blinker fluid.
Find out it's no blinker fluid.
Boy, you're really getting snowed if you're blinker fluid.
The bumper fluid, which one is that? Bumper springs, you got to change them out, don't you?
You got the tire stretcher too, to extend your life or what?
No, I did have to go get a board stretcher one time, I couldn't find it. I spent an hour at the store.
Left-handed model.
They sent me and get it. All right, I'll go find a board stretcher, whatever.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
See, we were doing pretty good. We
Yeah.
had pretty good control there for a minute.
Yeah, we got closed session. Pursuant to section 610-021.
Do we have anything else before we do that?
Can I, okay, multiple departments submitted requests for capital improvement items in the budget, and you guys didn't go through and like individually approve those.
Right.
What kind of process do you want them to go through to see if they can purchase those items?
I thought we had gone through those, because they had things like chairs and stuff like that, that people wanted, and copiers. We didn't go through each one of those.
We did several times go through them, I don't know, we just kind of ended up with a blanket amount in the budget. And I said that they would have to either come back to you guys or we would talk about it again after the year started.
There's a shiny object. You use that to keep our attention, so we can get through this thing.
Well, I don't think it, I think they should come up to you or unless you want to look.
Well, we
through.
should have done that before the budget was over with.
There's a lot of capital improvements, like the ones that Greg had on his list. You don't want to approve all those right away.
Can I give it a finish? I just got contacted by Dave Sabat, and he said we turn $400.
Turn it off.
We got other people that are.
Right, we're just about, Melissa's actually got it really close, but she's got the website training and all that.
Somebody work for
Probably
the
next week, probably next week. is what we're looking at.
Well, I hope you don't get in charge of the nukes at any point.
Well, you
He
got the
can
tan eye,
he can
right?
ride that bomb down with a wave in his hat. Who was that? Fail-safe.
Well, that's what we were just talking about.
I don't know.
I guess, I thought we went through most of that.
I think we kind of went through it. Some of it we're okay with, some of it we weren't.
Because
We had
Ross
questions on
doesn't
some.
I can bring you that list back at the next agenda item, or the next week's agenda, and you can go
Yes,
through it
let's
then.
go through it,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so they know if they can get a chair or not.
That chair has hardly ever been sat in.
And credenzas, and we all.
Yeah, we don't,
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just clarify. I mean, are we talking about small items mainly?
A little bit of both. I mean, like Michael asked for his parking lot repaving, but he also had like a refrigerator or a freezer or something on the list also for maintenance. It's kind of where do we sit with some of those items? Should they move forward and start a bidding process? Should they wait, or should they come back to you on an agenda and ask, or just kind of what the process is for them moving forward?
I would have rather done it when we was doing the budget, but we didn't, so let's, how long is it gonna take?
It won't take that long.
Right.
I don't think it will.
I mean, Greg's items might,
Yeah.
you know, but that's up to you guys for you.
Probably specifically what I'm thinking.
We just had the equipment
All
side.
right.
And I don't think EMS, there was much question about their capital. Do you feel like we need to go over that again? Theirs was more specific, theirs is a rotating schedule of most things.
The cots, the batteries, the Lucas, you know, continuing deployment of what we
Start an
started.
agenda next week.
Yeah, I think we
Fine
can
with
go
that.
through all of them.
Okay.
Touch base. That way, I don't know if Jennifer can be here too, so that she can go ahead and start the bidding process on some of that stuff. Then whether it gets done or not will depend on what it costs.
Okay, I'll have right here.
Anything
Anything
else?
else?
You got the net books already?
Yes.
Snag me on.
I snagged 4 of them for
Where's
this
the
office.
deal? No, we just get that set up, I guess, so we can,
Yeah, you just, I mean, using the set of those or what? I mean, what's the goal or?
I'm gonna use it when I go down to like to the city for their meetings or up to solid waste management district meetings, so I don't have to make 14,000 copies of paper. I got it,
Just,
the
yeah,
file.
just let me know what you need on it.
They're a lot smaller than these, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's, it's not fair for guys not to use them, so.
I did snag 4 for the office. for you guys, so.
I mean, I'd like to use it a lot easier than carrying paper and making copies of everything and stuff, so that's what I wanted it for. I don't know if y'all want one or not. That's what I'm using it.
Okay.
It's bigger than a phone, ours are not getting any better. Readers in here for emergencies.
Yeah. The readers aren't getting powerful enough.
I take mine off, I can see that.
I got starters.
You look a lot better with my
I
glasses.
thought I was doing good until I actually printed this out, and then I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, when Debbie's got to hold it back there for us to read it and stuff.
Okay.
Any other issues?
Any other issues?
Hold on a minute.
Oh.
Now, you know I've always got issues. Windows, Greg, they're gonna put in test ones Monday? Okay. Make sure they, I mean, will they look at them and find out if the other ones were actually put in backwards? I still find that hard to believe.
The ones we tore apart with Freddy's, they work.
Backwards or upside down? Inside out?
But we pulled inside.
And you're our program
Easier that
manager
way.
and making sure that doesn't happen.
Put them in from the inside.
You know, they were put in though around 1974.
Yeah, we.
So for being improperly installed,
Yeah,
they've
that's better
actually
than
not
the
done
jails.
too bad. That's true, it's done
That's
better than the jail.
Did our plow get hurt the other day, Larry? No, we had. No. We didn't have any issues.
Well, thank God.
Good deal, y'all did a good job, yeah.
Yeah, you did, all the complaints I got were really MODA, that's what everybody's complaining, it's like, well, that's the city, or that's MoDOT. I said, people don't understand where we go, where we start, where we stop. And it's, thank you. You guys did a great job. Yeah. Thank you.
What happened with the sheriff's okay?
Sheriff vehicle?
Uh-huh.
Well, is he okay? Okay, how's the truck?
Well, it's got needs more.
He just said that they had slid into a tree, so I was curious how it was, if everybody was okay and everything.
Yeah, everybody's.
The trio.
Even though it thinks I don't care. Hi, Greg. You're listening.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
got
probably,
everything. I thought there was something else on here on his email, I was trying to catch up with, so go ahead. I'm done.
You
Done?
Thank you.
Okay.
I move we go in closed session pursuant to section 610.021, personnel issues, sub 3.
Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
So I'd have to go back, step out there and go down here one by one.
And they need to turn all this off.
Yeah.
So, Chris.
I got some more.
Yep, I'm gonna use the restroom, and we can, about duties.
We have